time, we know who we are.
Who are we?
Fatties over 40.
Fatties over 40, baby. Okay.
Man. Got Jonesy over there. I got it's your boy Blanco right here, and we're ready to do our thing. So what's up, man? You ready?
Let's do this.
All right.
What are we drinking today, brother?
Well, we are not what I would call fancy folks. We're kind of a little more even keeled, down to earth, and that's what we got today. Today we went with an old classic that is known as Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke, baby.
Little Jack Daniels, little Coca-Cola, add ice and stir. Man, we're set. I feel good. How about you? I feel good.
Love it.
It's refreshing.
It is refreshing. It's the nectar of the gods. Fuck that other shit.
Man, and I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's gonna see that you're a little hoity-toity when you're at the bar and you're like, give me a Jack and Coke. They just like,
That's
that
always my
man's there to
go-to.
have some fucking drinks.
That's always my go-to. I don't need no slippery nipple or no sex on the beach. Ain't nobody trying to do that.
We don't need that. We don't need none of that. None of that.
I'm a simple guy. Whiskey and Coke, preferably Jack. Tastes delicious.
And if it's a rough day, then we'll just have some whiskey by itself.
And we might even go double. I don't know.
Today is a normal day, though. There'll be no doubling up. There'll be no on the rocks. It's a little Jack and Coke action as we get ready to party here in Kansas City.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got a big game next week.
We have a very big game next week.
We're not going to say the name of the big game.
We can't. It's a secret.
I don't want to get fined.
We're giving a little beast mode action. We're just saying that so we don't get fined.
Pretty much.
I mean, Jesus, the NFL. I love it. You love it.
Oh, absolutely.
We watch as much as we
Absolutely.
possibly can, but back off of the copyright infringement, man. Ain't nobody care about using your name, okay?
It's not even really your name.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Somebody else coined it. Your marketing team didn't come up with that. You didn't have a marketing team back in the 60s.
Do you actually know who came up with it?
Who did come up with it?
Lamar Hunt.
Fun fact,
Fun fact of the day, Lamar Hunt
founder of the Kansas City Chiefs.
absolutely came up with the name from his son, actually. His son happened to be playing with a super ball of the bouncy kind, and decided, hey, we could do something with that. And
Yeah.
then it became the AFC versus the NFC. So
Yeah, there you go. So basically we've got the big game, we got the NFC champion, we got the AFC champion, and they're going to be going at it here in a week from today, actually. What is today? I don't even know what day
today
it
is Sunday,
October?
yes, October.
So yes, February 5th, we are a week away from the big game where we get to see the Kansas City Chiefs take on the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who subsequently have the same exact record, 14-3.
Both teams pretty good. Pretty
Are
good.
they, though?
I don't know.
Are
We're going
they?
to talk about
Are
it.
they?
I mean, let's go full disclosure. I am a big Chiefs fan. I've loved the Chiefs forever. Ever since I was probably, a young child, 8 years old, religiously watching games. Loved them forever. I would not call you a huge Chiefs fan. You do love the Chiefs.
I'm a hometown fan.
He is a hometown fan.
I will
That's what I'll give
qualify
him.
that as a hometown fan.
Get the
Everybody-
hometown discount.
Everybody knows I love the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, the Sharps.
Discount
Yeah.
double check.
Discount. Bro.
Got a discount double check it?
Discount double check.
Oh,
That's my
man.
twin brother. It's fine. It's fine. He doesn't talk to me, though, because he doesn't like to talk to family.
You don't like to talk
That's
to
fine.
anybody.
No, he really
he's
doesn't.
weird. He just likes to...
Unless you're talking about his toe.
Oh,
Yeah.
he likes talking to Pat McAfee. He likes talking to
He does
him.
love to talk to Pat McAfee, but we're
Apparently
not talking about
that's
him.
his-
We're talking about him.
It's his only fucking friend.
Let's go
Pat
back
McAfee.
to Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and the big boys in Kansas City. Because Green Bay's not even here. Green Bay's not even here.
No, Green Bay's not there. Green Bay had what we'll call a down year by many people, and so when you suck and you don't even make the playoffs,
Yeah.
guess what we do? We move on. We move on to the next one. We talk about the people that are relevant. And the relevant players in this game, well, let's be honest, the best player in the game right now, you want to call him that? The best quarterback, without a doubt.
Well,
in the
he
game is-
absolutely has the mantle now since Tom Brady retired. So
So Patrick Mahomes is the
Fuck Tom
guy,
Brady.
and I feel like any kind of conversation needs to start and end with Patrick Mahomes.
yeah.
So we right now, as of now, The Eagles are favored by Vegas. They are 1.5 point favorites.
Which is bullshit, and we all know it. That should be a straight even game and going about your business.
It does feel like a pick'em kind of game.
Is the mattress guy gonna? Has he said who he's betting on yet?
Oh, I haven't
By
heard
the
the
way-
mattress guy. I think what we're all waiting for is that first injury report.
I think that's what they're waiting on. Also, they're gonna get down. They're gonna practice. They're gonna start talking to the media in the next couple of days before they start their run-throughs and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's when we'll probably get a legit number. Because if we've got multiple wide receivers that are still questionable, which we do, because Hardman I think is the only one that most likely is going to be out.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to play from what
Right.
I've seen so far.
But Juju should be back. MVS, which all the haters out there with MVS, that man did have over, 119, 120 yards.
Yeah, he had over 100 yards. And I was an MVS hater. I'm not going to lie to you. He has been a complete disappointment to this point in the year. Minus AFC Championship, if we look at the other book of work, it ain't great.
I know we've talked about this before, but that's kind of what you have to expect out of him. Because in that offense, he's a 3.
Oh, definitely.
Because Travis is 1, Juju is 2, MVS is 3. Hardman would have been probably a 2, 3.
It just
That's kind of a
depends on the
split.
day.
Just depends on the day as to who is doing what for that, or what defenses they're playing for that day. Honestly,
Pretty much, yeah. The opponent will dictate who's
Yeah.
playing what role
Yeah,
in Andy's offense, at least this year anyway. That's
Yeah.
what it appears to be. So
but I don't think he had a bad year. I mean, he actually caught the ball, unlike he did for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he did have more first down receptions in this past year than he had in his, previous seasons with Green Bay, which means he's catching the ball when they need him to. But
Yeah.
I get the hate on him. I do. I honestly get the hate on MVS, and I'm not questioning it. I agree. I was very angry about him being on the Packers, and when he left, I was like, yeah.
the problem with MVS, I can boil it down to this, right? Guy's got great size, amazing speed, super fast. The problem is, it appears that MVS, at least again, AFC Championship game removed, he can only catch a ball that's here
Yes.
in the chest.
Yes.
If you deviate ever
Yes.
so slightly, he ain't gonna catch it. The man has to be able to bring it into his chest and catch the ball.
Which is, he catches with his body, he doesn't catch with his hands.
And if you're going to play wide receiver in the NFL and be exceptional or just better than average, you have to be able to catch with your hands.
Absolutely, because he was brought in to be our Tyreek Hill replacement for the deep threat, which he actually is a really good deep threat.
He's been doing a great job
If-
of stretching the field.
If you have the accuracy skills that, and I'm not saying Pat's not an accurate quarterback, because he is an accurate quarterback. However, Aaron Rodgers is on a different level when it comes to drop-in balls. He has a touch pass that's second to none. Pat hasn't figured that out yet. Pat still throws the ball as hard as he can because he wants to fit it in. He's trying to hit those little windows sometimes. And MVS isn't that. He's not a Travis Kelce that can catch a ball like that. He's not Juju that can lay out sideways and catch a ball that way.
No, I agree with that. And I also, let's be honest, Patrick is not a typical quarterback.
Oh, absolutely not.
Patrick's a shortstop.
Yeah.
And so, you ever seen a shortstop that's always putting it right on the first baseman's glove? No.
No.
Your great shortstops are getting the ball out quick,
Yep.
on the move,
And hard.
and hard. And that's what he is. That's how he plays the game.
Absolutely.
And so he can't have the I am unnimble first baseman trying to catch balls from the shortstop. He needs the guy with some athletic talent that can move the glove and has a catch radius.
You mean you're telling me he can't be an offensive lineman? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I mean, MVS is like a fast offensive lineman. At least he was up to the AFC Championship. So, again,
Hey,
give him all his props.
also-
He was great in the
Also
game.
in the AFC Championship, props to Sky Moore, Kemp, and those guys that came off the bench who haven't played a lick.
Oh,
Barely
yeah,
sniffed
for
the field
sure.
outside of warm-ups. And those guys stepped up. Now in the second half of the AFC Championship, we were a little sluggish. But when you lose your entire offensive scheme, you have to pick things up, and I think they did that really well. We couldn't run the ball for shit, but I don't think that was Pacheco's fault. I don't think that was McKinnon's fault. I think they were trying to minimize minimize the running game to help Pat out.
Yeah.
Bum ankle and all. I mean,
yeah, that's something we didn't even talk about at all.
he played like fucking Warrior.
And we don't got to spend a whole lot of time on this, but the whole narrative leading up to it was that we didn't even know was Patrick going to play. Everybody's like, Patrick's definitely going to play, but what's he going to look like? And then I've seen people say he didn't really have a high ankle sprain. He's a Ben Roethlisberger who was faking an injury to get some glory. What is that?
Well, I don't know. And it goes back to, like, I know this is a completely different sport. Kurt Schilling with the blood on the sock. One of the greatest things ever for visual purposes that happened in baseball to rally his team. Pat's not that type of person. That man, when he dislocated his kneecap, tried to go back in the damn game.
Yes.
Pat's not going to fake an injury just to go, I'm going to hype my team up. That man can hype a team up on his own, especially when him and Trav get rolling on things. And it's like, Kermit, there was a meme, and I'm pretty sure I sent this to you, where it had Kermit the Frog trying to do an interview, and Animal, the drummer from the Muppets, is standing behind him.
Yes.
And it's like, Pat Mahomes trying to do an interview and Travis Kelce interrupting, which, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love it. The Burrowhead my ass comment on live TV, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Travis Kelce's just a big ball of fun. But, I mean, so anyway, what we're going to say is, yes, he had an injury. We all watched the divisional round. We watched someone come down on his ankle, get rolled under with the full body weight of someone on it. We saw it. If you think that doesn't give you a high ankle sprain, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You're
dumb.
You're living in a delusional world, and I can't help you. So.
Well, speaking of delusional world, how many fans have I heard over the past week? The NFL is rigged. The NFL is rigged. The NFL is rigged. I'm so fucking tired of that trope. It's not even funny. And then,
what, you mean it's not rigged?
And then yesterday, for God's sakes, I sent the TikTok to you this morning.
Yes.
Some dickhole decided it'd be a good idea to go in and manipulate HTML or something and
They just
show.
photoshopped is all they did. They had a Photoshop set up the webpage and had that.
Yeah, well, you know, they went in and designed everything out where it had the final score of the game already, because the NFL scripted that it's going to be 37-34 Philadelphia, and it had all the breakdowns of, I can't remember if there were stats on there or not, but there was breakdowns for each quarter for the scores and all this kind of shit, and I looked at it and I'm like, why? Why are we doing this?
Because it's rigged.
The NFL is not fucking rigged. I'm sorry, but you can't rig an injury like what Pat had that almost put him out for the AFC Championship.
No, but the officials are terrible. The officials control everything.
Okay, we all know that referees do have a hand in the flow of the game. We absolutely do. That happens in every single sport. Baseball, basketball, football, even soccer. And those motherfuckers are floppopotamus rexes. They're terrible. But we've seen it before, but you cannot rig an entire season to play out the way it did. I'm sorry, but you can't. That's, 20 weeks? Including the preseason stuff?
Yeah.
And you're really going to map things out like that? You're really going to cost a Denver Broncos franchise that much when they just traded away 7 picks for Russell? I have more bathrooms in my house than touchdowns for
Not anymore. He did correct it at the end of the season, but yes, that was true.
Come on, man. Get off that whole fucking rigged trope. I'm tired of hearing about it. It's bullshit. I think Sunday's game is going to be really good. Although I will throw this out there, and I threw this out to somebody else. You do realize what the uniform says, right?
What the uniform
Have you not realized this? So, Kansas City has been to the big game 5 times.
Okay.
Or this will be their 5th time.
Okay.
We've won twice in red. We've lost twice in white. And Kansas City is going with their white tops.
However, when they wore the white, I will bring this to you. You know what pants they wore? White pants. What they will be wearing this upcoming Sunday are the red pants. And historically, they have a winning record wearing the white jerseys
Red
with
pants?
the red pants
All right.
in the playoffs. So that's
were they white on white the last 2?
I believe so. I believe in the, we can even look up Super Bowl 55.
Big game 55.
Big game. Well, I'm going to look it up. So when I'm looking up results for a game, I can
Valid
say
point.
what it is.
Valid point. My fault. You're right.
I just can't talk about upcoming.
Yeah, you have to pull that up because I can't remember. But like going back to
Okay, images.
Super Bowl I against the Green Bay Packers.
Oh,
very
and
first one.
in that game, FYI, they were home team. They were wearing red jerseys and white pants in that game.
In which game?
In 55, where they lost to the Buccaneers. The Bucks were wearing white jerseys. They were, I guess, I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, they were wearing white on gray.
Why do I feel like they were white? Kansas City. Well, that blows that out of the water. And
Yeah.
thank God. All right, I'm good with that.
So
Okay.
we don't gotta worry
Well,
about
I-
that. Uniform,
I fucked that one up. Uniform doesn't.
jeans.
Uniform jeans doesn't
not
work. All right,
matter.
all right, that'll work. That'll work. I'm good with that.
So I don't buy into that. I mean, I've seen this team. The only jinx that is real, and this is a side note, the red on red to me look awesome.
I do
Yeah.
like the red on red.
They only break those out in extremely difficult games.
Thursday
They're
night
like,
football, or those are that's really their big game uniform when they need a crowd hype. I want to call it, because I think the first time I seen them on red in my lifetime, remembering that was against the Patriots in 18. I want to say, because Pat's first year was 17, right? Or
first year as a starter was 18.
Okay.
First year
So
in the
yeah.
league was 17.
So yeah, that Thursday night game, because I think I was at that game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was at that game. They wore red on red for the first time, because that's when the NFL started their color blitz package or whatever it was, where they wore the weird colors so that people could tell, like the colorblind people could tell what was what on TV. Because I think that's why they actually did that, was to give people who are colorblind the opportunity to tell what's what without actually seeing logos on the side of their helmets.
I like it. Those
I do
red on
too.
red are fire.
Yeah.
Absolute
Now,
fire.
Some people did better with their uniforms than others. Seahawks and their fucking tennis ball.
The highlighter?
is terrible.
Highlighter green is not something I would recommend. Not good, guys.
Baylor, you're also assholes for starting that trend.
Yeah.
With those goddamn highlighter uniforms. Whole nother topic.
Oh, we can talk about Baylor being trash anyway, but I'm not going to go into that.
No,
We're talking about big game.
That's
Big
different.
game.
Big game.
Big game.
Big game.
So yeah, one of the things we talked about, Patrick Mahomes being injured. We're going to find out if he's going to be ready to go.
I think
He's clearly going to be ready to go. I think he'll be better and better. What we saw in 7 days of treatment, now we're going to see 14 days of
Well,
treatment.
I will say that from things that I've read, high ankle sprains get worse before they get better.
Yes.
So whoever that lady was, shout out to her that got him ready, that he tweeted out that she was the real hero from, I believe it was KU Medical Center. Yeah, she's a
I
physical
believe
therapist
so.
person. Got him ready for it. Hopefully she can work her magic again, and that'd be awesome if she got to go to the Super Bowl. Not gonna lie. Which I'm assuming she did.
Something else. Oh yeah, she's gonna be there. There's something else that hasn't been brought up. We talked about the high ankle sprain and it getting worse. Nobody talks about the fact that he had one of those in 19.
It's his other foot, though.
It doesn't matter. It was the very first game of the season.
That's true.
You know what time he missed for that? None.
That's true.
0 time.
That's
Now
true.
he had he had a concussion at some point in that season. He had the kneecap injury in that
And
season.
then they won the Super Bowl.
That's when that ankle actually healed up when he got that. Yeah, and then they go on to win the
That's
Super
true.
Bowl.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, if people want to look at history to draw, which I feel like has no correlation here whatsoever, but
He also injured it against the Jacksonville Jaguars the first time.
I think he did. I think he
Yeah.
opened with the Jags.
You know, we opened the
They
Jags
did
that year.
The exact
And
same
he
thing
rolled,
this time.
rolled on his ankle. Same situation.
We're seeing a trend here. The Jags are dirty and they go after Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not mad at
I
that.
don't think
I
that
get
is
it.
dirty. It's
But-
fine.
Now let's switch sides of the ball real quick.
Oh, we're talking about
Let's
big
talk
green
about,
machine.
Let's talk about this defense.
Oh, the vaunted defense, the best since the
defense.
85 Bears. That defense?
No. Let's
Wait a minute. You telling me Hassan Reddick is not the second coming of Lawrence Taylor? What?
Bro.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I've been watching ESPN. They've been talking
I
about
wasn't.
it.
I wasn't even going to go to the Eagles yet. I was just gonna talk about how our defense this year started out as a giant dumpster fire, and has slowly put itself out. These rookie cornerbacks, which we didn't have McDuffie for the entirety of the season, which I wish we would have because I think he would have done a lot more stats-wise. But look what they did in the playoffs. I mean, you've got some holding teams, granted 20-20, but that's pretty good considering you're playing playoff teams and you're playing high-powered teams. Chris Jones finally got sacks in the postseason, and we have been questioning that now for, 3 or 4 years since he came in the league. We got him a new contract 2 years ago, which was a 4-year deal. He's starting to come into his big money years. Finally shows up, thankfully.
Not just shows up.
Oh, he showed out.
The man
He showed
controlled
out.
the game from the start.
The leader
to
of
the
Sack
end.
Nation. The leader of Sack Nation got 2.5 sacks. They got 5 or 6 total. I have been super skeptical about Frank Clark. Always have been. I love the Shark. But that man went and lost weight this offseason.
He did.
A lot of people don't realize that. He is now a slimmer guy. His bull rush shit has not worked for him the entire year.
But he hasn't had a bull rush. Let's be fair. His whole career, he never had bull rush.
But that's what he relies on most of the time.
It's speed.
Well,
Man
that's
is
the
speed.
bull rush.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's the bull rush.
Yeah, but he's never going to overpower anybody.
No.
Chris Jones will push 2 people
Absolutely.
back into the quarterback.
Absolutely, because we've seen it twice or 3 times in that game.
Right. Frank Clark will just get the corner. He's got that quick first step, and that's it. That's his playback. the man has quick off the corner, and that's it.
But this season, he loses weight. I don't know that he really knew how to cut corner after he got around either the spin move or the swim outside. Because nobody talked about Frank Clark that much this year. And then
He didn't do anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He was quiet during the regular
he was
season.
very quiet during the regular season. I don't know if he was holding back a lot. Which Dunlap, by the way, great pickup.
Oh, quality.
Dunlap has been a great pickup to come in on 2nd and 3rd down when we needed him.
It's like the Suggs pickup 2 years
Yes.
ago, and then
Yes.
last year we had the pickup of what's his face? God, I'll have to
Ingram.
look at- Ingram. We had Ingram pickup, and then now this year we got Dunlap. Veach has done a great
Yes.
job
Yes.
of picking up a veteran depth
Yes.
in that pass rush, and it's been even bigger this year with the addition of Karlaftis coming along as a rookie. Now you
Furious
actually
George.
have a rotation
Furious
of pass
George,
rushers.
That kid's got a motor that I haven't seen in a long time. Like, that goes back to, I can't even explain his motor because I don't know of anybody that's his type of motor. Like,
It's different.
J.J. Watt, yes, you got the Bosa brothers. T.J. Watt, like, those are big dudes. Karlaftis is not that big of a dude. He is
No.
don't take this the wrong way because I know he's one of your favorite old-time players, but in all reality, he has similarities. Not saying that he is a prototype or anything like that. He has remnants of Derek Thomas style in and out. And I know you're going to question me on that.
Oh, I don't know about that. I can't go along with that one. I'm going to say this. DT was a generational talent.
This is why I'm
and
saying.
He is.
This is why I said I'm not saying that he
unparalleled.
is. I'm not saying that he is. But the things that he does in his work ethic, amazing.
Oh,
Absolutely amazing.
the man has more heart than damn near anyone I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's what this team, and when I'm talking about the Chiefs, they have. Your leader, we just talked about playing on a high ankle sprain and doing almost everything that he normally does. And then you got top 3 wide receivers go out during the game. You got people stepping up. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
And then you got young rookies like Karlaftis just with a motor that doesn't stop.
Well, and we'll shift from the defensive line because that front 4 did an amazing job keeping Burrow in the pocket, not letting him get out. And running. Burrow's not your typical running quarterback. He's not your scrambler. But when he does, he has deceptive speed and he can pick up a lot of yards. I fucking hate Joe Burrow. And the only reason why I hate him is not because of his play on the field. It's his antics off and everybody calling him Joe Cool and everybody getting on his nuts. It's the same thing that happened with Josh Allen 2 years ago when he came in the league, did his thing, and everybody wants to say that, oh, he's the next thing. Well, for 5 years now, the best quarterback in the league for 5 years straight has been Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. And he makes the case
Rival by no
every
one.
year.
Absolutely.
Every year he does it.
Absolutely. And I will say, that Jalen Hurts.
He's
We'll-
good.
We'll flip. We'll flip to the other
Jalen
side.
Hurts is good.
As far as MVP race, 1 and 2.
Jalen Hurts had a hell of a year. Nobody's going to say. I mean, if you can say otherwise, but you're wrong.
Because without Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia's offense, trash.
It's not the same.
No.
That
And it was
RPO,
proved.
you need to have that run threat from the quarterback, and he provides it.
And as soon as you have that run threat, you have to have a quarterback spy, which takes one person either out of zone or out of the man-to-man that you're going to run for your defense.
It makes it very hard to double team multiple people. You can double team AJ Brown if you want, but you ain't getting Devontae Smith.
No.
Or if you double both like the Chiefs did against the Bengals in the championship game, then you can't control that QB run.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah,
And-
pick your poison.
And going back to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, Jamar Chase and Higgins didn't have games, both under 100 yards.
They were
And
locked down.
Jerry Sneed gets hurt in the first quarter. What in the first quarter?
4 plays in.
4 plays in.
He had 4 plays under his belt, and he went out. That's the number 1 cover corner for the Chiefs, and he was done after 4 plays.
And McDuffie and all those guys stepped up, rocked it.
Here's something you haven't said yet, and here's something I have to bring up. You mentioned earlier the defense started out trash. The Chiefs' defense this year was terrible.
There's
Here's-
many reasons for that.
Here's
though.
one big reason. We've talked about one. Karlaftis,
Yep.
rookie. McDuffie,
Rookie.
rookie. Williams, rookie.
Watson.
Cook, Watson,
Rookies.
both rookies.
5
both
rookies.
getting significant playing time in this game.
Absolutely.
Your defense is playing that many rookies?
Well,
Are you serious?
Well, and let's go one step further. You've got 5 rookies, then you've got Gay and Bolton as linebackers who are second
Second and third year players.
So still not quite.
They're
At the
veterans,
level
but
they
they're
are, but-
not.
Well, they're veterans.
They got a lot to learn.
They're veterans for that defense. They're not veterans in the league yet.
Mm-mm.
You're talking out of your rookie contract to be a veteran in the league, in my opinion. And I
Oh.
think that's basically how it's designed. But you have probably one of the youngest defensive cores in the league.
Oh, for sure.
And look at the stats. What most they gave up in a game was what? What do we got there?
Oh, they've given up some points.
27?
Yeah, they gave up some points, and
But in all reality, how much of that is garbage time points?
there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, and here's another argument.
I'm
I
sorry,
heard
they
this
gave
year.
up 31 and 29 respectively, but those 2 games
Those
before
were
the
garbage
bye.
time
And those were
points.
garbage time, absolutely.
Yes.
The only game that wasn't really garbage time was the Raiders game at home where we had to come back at the end and win that game. But going forward in the season, that 34-28 at Denver,
That's
garbage time and letting the younger guys get in there and play. So we're gonna give up some points. But in all reality, they need that. When you get up big, you throw your younger guys in there and go, hey, go play. Go play.
Well, we had so much frustration. You and I had talked about it before during the season. This defense is terrible.
It is. It was.
Here's what we could have
It
done.
was.
We could have started some of the veterans we had on the team. It would have looked better early, but then when we get to the AFC Championship and all we have
Is
are
rookie.
rookies, they were ready this time as opposed they already worked out the lumps earlier in the season.
Well, and think about what that defense lost from the previous. We'll go 3 years. We'll just go 3 years because you lost your heart and soul of the defense with
Tyrann
Honey
Mathieu
Badger.
was
Honey
the
Badger.
man. Like, he
Absolutely.
was the quarterback of that defense.
he
when
was
here.
he was the Travis Kelce of the defense. He was the hype man. He got them up, and when he got frustrated, everybody knew it.
Oh, it was not secret.
Everybody knew it. I mean, before he left, his frustration with Sorensen was apparent. Every single fucking game.
Funny
And-
side note. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I gotta say, the best part about that is when he left and he went to the Saints, and who followed him right after?
Oh, absolutely.
Dan Sorensen.
Absolutely. Why?
Suck it, Honey Badger.
Exactly. But why did he follow him? Because in all reality, despite the fact that he was very vocal about it, they were a good tandem. They were actually a good tandem because Honey Badger was your cover guy, but he could stick people.
Oh yeah.
Sorensen couldn't cover a fucking kid with a blanket and swaddle them,
No.
let alone a fucking tight end. But you know what he could do?
He can
stick
hit
the fuck out of you. He'd stick the fuck out of you and prevent a first down from happening.
He'll hit somebody. He'll hit him
He
hard.
will hit the fuck out of people.
Yes, sir.
But, like, we lost those guys. We lost Charvarius Ward, who had an amazing year in San Francisco. Props to him. I know they didn't make it to the playoffs because of other reasons.
Oh, they made it. They didn't make.
I mean, not to the playoffs.
They didn't make it to the big game.
They didn't make it to the big game. But that kid balled out this year. And
Oh my God,
and
yes.
he was one of those. He was one of those rookies that we drafted. Had to let go because of rookie contract. Ends. We're not going to pay him. We didn't have enough money for it.
We're not going to pay anybody on the defense at this point.
The only person that we've paid is Chris Jones. Everybody else is either at a minimum veteran contract or they're still in their rookie contracts. The only one that we've paid is Chris Jones and Frank Clark.
That's all it's going to be. And Frank Clark's going to be gone. I mean, I don't want to ruin anybody's hope.
No. I think he's gone.
Yeah.
And more power to him. I think he's done an amazing job for us. I think he's given a lot of tools to the pass rushers that have come in underneath him. He may not be a teacher. I don't know what his work ethic is on a practice field. Ooh, excuse me. But I think Karlaftis has learned a lot from him.
Oh, yeah.
And why wouldn't you? Why would you not focus see what he's doing, what works for him, what doesn't work for him?
Him and Dunlop. Those are both great veterans to learn under.
To be honest, I would rather keep Dunlap for another year as a third down guy.
They may.
And let Clark go. We pick up another pass rusher in the draft because Karlaftis will have his second year. He can take over for Clark. You bring somebody else in with Dunlap. They split time like him and Karlaftis has done the whole year. And then the only thing you got to worry about is Saunders and Nandi and Jones.
And Jones is a big one. That's one that we're going to really look at this offseason.
We got 2 years left on his contract.
But it's time. It's time to either figure out the extension or it's time to move on from him and get what we can. And I'll say this. You and I talked about this briefly before we fired up.
We have. I wasn't going to bring it up.
I have to. The AFC Championship game was his made man moment.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to mix my metaphors.
Absolutely.
But this is a perfect, to me, it's the perfect parallel. Game 1, World Series, 2015, you have a long-time Royal, Alex Gordon.
Yep.
Who hits a home run in the bottom of the ninth. The man got a statue because of it now. It's that kind of performance when you've been a player here the whole time that lets you finish your career here. And that's what he just did.
By the way, just since you brought that World Series up, Hosmer's still a bitch. And had it not been for him, Alex Gordon never has his moment. Great moment for Gordon, but Hosmer, you're still a bitch.
Yeah.
Anyway,
got a little Hosmer hate here, but
I do hate Hosmer, but that's beside the point.
But that's it.
Yeah.
That's your made man moment when Chris Jones dominated the AFC Championship. Even someone like me, who's always looking towards the future, I can't say you move on from that talent. You can't. Chris Jones is also a dominant talent that you can't move on from.
Let's say the Chiefs do win, which I hope they do. Let's say the Chiefs do win the big game. That'll be 2 Super Bowl rings under his belt. What time is it? What contract time is it? It's his fuck you money contract.
Yeah, it's time for that.
It's his fuck you money contract that all those players talk about, where Kansas City is not going to be able to afford him. And if he's done, and I'm not saying that he is because I don't know what type of person Chris is, but if he's done chasing a ring at that point in time, because if he gets another ring, he's going to make it into the Hall of Fame. Let's be honest.
Oh,
he's got the stats to do it.
This game right here is going to be big for him. Because
absolutely.
I don't know what you've heard all week, probably the same things or all year. Philadelphia Eagles have the best offensive line in football. It's anchored by Kelsey at center, and it's just so much talent.
Yep.
So good, so good. Don't get me wrong, I think they're very talented.
They are.
But I think Chris Jones is 1 in a million, man.
Yeah.
That if you watch him play, the way he dominates, even with that great offensive line, he's still going to get double teams.
Oh, absolutely.
And when he gets double teams, that's when everybody else gets to eat.
Because Karlaftis can't be single covered. He can't. Dunlap and Clark, you have to have either a running back or a tackle chip. They have to chip. They have to chip.
Yeah.
So if that happens and you've got Jones and Saunders or Nandi in the middle plugging,
and Mike Davis coming big this year too.
There's no way that Hurts is going to be able to stay in the pocket. And that, I think, is what's going to kill us. If Gay is back, healthy, complete, because I know he had some issues.
It's going to need Gay and Bolton both.
I was going to say, one of those two, whoever's the faster one, is going to have to spy, and we're going to have to hope these rookie corners or the DBs can do their thing. Because you know who we haven't talked about, by the way? Reed.
Talk about it.
We haven't talked about Reed. He's
man,
the one. He's the
genius
one
behind it.
Yep. Well, no, I'm not talking about Andy.
Mm.
I'm not even ready to talk about
I
Andy
thought we were
yet.
talking about
No,
Andy
no.
Reid.
I'm talking about Honey Badger's replacement.
Okay. Justin
From the
Reed.
Texans.
Justin Reed. The
Who-
other Reed on the team.
Yes, the other Reed on the team who has had a really quiet year, but he's made big plays.
We had a quiet year, except for when we played Cincinnati in the regular season. He tended to talk a little bit too much trash during that week, and then didn't
I
show
think he
up.
learned from it, though.
He did learn.
He pulled
from
an
it.
Eli Apple.
Uh,
He pulled an Eli Apple.
He didn't
let's
even
be
know who
honest.
he was talking trash on.
No, he
with
didn't.
you.
He wanted. I think he wanted to get in on the game, and they were running on a good high because we were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game win streak, and shouldn't have lost to the Bengals. I do believe we shouldn't have lost that game.
No,
But
the Chiefs lost that game.
yeah,
The
that was their
Bengals
own
didn't
fault.
win.
Nope.
The Chiefs lost
Yep.
that game.
Yep.
And I don't want to call them out because I hate calling out people. But the one thing I look at, but there's a lot of things that went wrong. There was a lot of special teams disasters in that game. When you're up and you're driving, we all assume, because what we've seen to this point is Patrick Mahomes is going to score. And so when
And he
Kelsey had the fumble going into score and go up by 10, they turned it over, and that
Yeah.
completely shifted it.
Well,
They
when
put up that touchdown there. That
Well,
game
that was
over.
that was the turnover at like the 50. Like
Yeah,
midfield. That was the
it was.
midfield
If
turnover.
they were getting ready to go
Yeah.
into plus
Yeah.
territory, and that we all know that's
game,
points for the
the
Chiefs.
game where every single one of us was like, go down, just go down, stop fighting for the damn yard. And like that's one thing that I love about Travis Kelce, but it's one of the things that kills me about him is that those guys are fighting so hard for everybody. It's like, bro, just go down. Stop fighting for that extra yard. Just go down. You already got the first down. Go down.
Yes.
Like I get it. I get it when the running backs do it when it's 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1. You know, when they're trying to get that 1 yard.
Got to get that yard.
Like I'll get that. Like when Pacheco does it. I don't have a single problem with that. But Trav, you're past the 50. You're what, 5 yards past the first down marker. Hold on the ball. Just go down.
I'll say this to his
I'm
credit.
not mad at him.
to
I am
his
not
credit,
mad at him at all.
You know what hasn't happened since then?
He hasn't fumbled.
He hasn't fumbled.
Nope.
And I see him every time he starts to get in the he's got 2 hands on
Yep.
the ball. He is protecting the ball, and he is
owned
vowed
it.
to not do that again.
He owned
he
it.
took it hard.
He absolutely owned it. And you could tell in his pressers after the game, he genuinely knew that he fucked up.
He felt he lost the game.
He did.
Again,
He did.
There's a lot of things
He
that
did.
happen, and it's not that he
He
did
did.
it. I'm not blaming him for the loss.
I
Not
will,
at all.
I will tell you, and this was 3 games in a row before the AFC Championship game. Kansas City does what it always does under Andy Reid, and this is my only knock against him as a coach. He will not put his foot on people's throat. He respects other coaches and other teams a little bit too much, in my opinion. Does he have the killer mentality? Yes. But does he pull up at the very end so that it's a merciful death? Yes, and then that's where he gets in trouble.
I don't know if it's mercy so much. He does hold up on lesser opponents, we shall say. When he knows he has the edge, either scheme wise or basically talent wise.
Yeah.
I think I've heard it put this way before. He doesn't call the good plays, quote
Right.
unquote.
He goes vanilla.
He goes very
Yes,
vanilla.
he goes
And
vanilla.
he does not want to tip his. The man would never show his cards. If the
Oh,
man's
he's
at the poker
a
table,
magician.
he's
Absolutely.
folding everything. Hey, did you have it? You have to fucking pay to find out. He's not showing you unless you pay for it.
I'm telling you, every time I see him, The Gambler by Kenny Rogers just runs through my head. and not because he's Riverboat Ron. He is not Riverboat Ron. But
No.
he knows when to hold him. He knows when to fold him. But I don't think sometimes he knows when to run away. Or walk away, as you say.
That's true.
I believe that's one of every coach has flaws. Every single coach has flaws.
We're all human.
But I think his one thing is he will not go ahead and take the shot. He won't do it.
Yeah, he will definitely hold back.
Yeah.
He will be reserved
Yep.
in that moment.
And that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't think there's another coach that we could have got that would have taken the Chiefs where he's done. 10 years now, coming from Philadelphia, where he took the Eagles to 4 straight NFC championships, 1 Super Bowl, which they did lose. But how many coaches can say that? Marv Levy is the only other one that I know of.
Rarefied air there. Belichick did it. I'm pretty sure the Patriots went to 4 straight
Consecutive?
They weren't all at home, but I think they were 4 consecutive. We'd have to look at Patriots history.
I don't know.
I think they may have. I don't want to short them. I think 49ers may have done it back in the 80s. I think there was only like consecutives. And then also the Cowboys have done a lot of that. So
they were only 2 consecutive though. Marv Levy with the Bills was the only one that went to 4 straight Super Bowls.
Because he had to go.
Let alone going to 4 straight championship games and then either winning them or losing them. Now, granted, we are the only ones that have ever had it at home for 5 straight years.
Yeah, that's undeniable. One team.
We had some help. That wasn't all on us. Because against the Patriots,
we had some number 1 seeds lose.
We did have some number 1 seeds lose, which that's what happens when you get overrated.
That's why I play the games. When you have a soft schedule in the regular season.
Which let's talk about a soft schedule while we're on that. Because we were talking about this earlier a little bit, and
oh no, this is gonna have me go off on a tangent. All right, guys, get ready for this one.
This is why. Because everybody's so amped up and hype about Philly being the best team in the league and the best team this.
And again, I want to give it a preference. We respect the Philadelphia Eagles.
Absolutely.
I think they are a good team.
Are they the best team in the NFC? Yes.
Yeah, without a doubt, they're the best team in the NFC.
I think, which we can get in that when we talk about their schedule. I think if San Francisco's Purdy doesn't get hurt, I think that's a little bit different game. I also believe that Garoppolo doesn't go down in the season, maybe a different game. I also think Trey Lance doesn't go down. It's potentially a little bit different game. Is that saying that the 49ers are the best team in the NFC? No, absolutely not. I
would make that argument, actually. I think they were the best team in the NFC.
Defensive-wise, yes.
I think even offensive-wise, I think they were the best. As soon as they picked up McCaffrey, I don't think there was a team better. Think about this. They went to the NFC Championship with their 3rd-string quarterback.
True.
They were rolling through the playoffs with a 3rd-string quarterback.
But their 3rd-string quarterback had 7 games under his belt before that. Or 6 games.
Okay. You're still a 3rd-string quarterback that was drafted dead last. No.
Hey,
we watched him play at Iowa State. Did he ever wow you?
I liked him at Iowa State. I can honestly say that. I watched quite a few games with him at Iowa State. I didn't think he was ever going to be an NFL quarterback like that. But I will say that he did have shades of brilliance there. Few and far between.
He had a stacked roster. They should have competed for a national championship. If you look at the
talent
that he had on that team.
I don't disagree. I agree with you on that 100%.
And yet still didn't get a 10-win season.
That's true.
You know why? I'm going to little dig here for the Iowa State Cyclone fans. Keep waiting on that 10-win season. It'll come at some point. But yeah, keep talking shit. Bastards. Anyway. A little dig for the Cyclones. They get a little too high and mighty around football time.
Yeah, no shit.
So anyway.
But, okay. So, let's talk about the Eagles' strength of schedule. Now, granted, according to the numbers at the beginning of the year, they had the easiest schedule. And that's one of everybody's biggest things about how, well, they have the easiest schedule. Well, do you know how they actually schedule games every year?
Yeah, it all goes by your record. However you finished is how they're going to schedule your games going forward.
The ones play the one outside of your
divisional opponents,
and your AFC and NFC division they
have a division swap this year for the Chiefs.
This year they play the East. Next year they play and you have that for each conference. Mm-hmm. Well, your remaining games, which is usually 3 to 4 games, you have to play. If you're a number 1 from the previous year, if you're a division winner, you play other division winners.
Yep.
When was the last time Philadelphia won their division? Doug Peterson?
It's been a minute.
Doug Peterson, maybe?
Been a minute.
And I don't even know if they won it that year. I know they won the Super Bowl that year, but I don't know that they won their division that year.
They won their division. They didn't get 1 seed, I feel like, because of the injury to Wentz. They lost a few at the end that knocked them out of the 1 seed, but still won the division.
I think you're right. So, let's look at their schedule. Detroit Lions, trash.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Beginning of the year. We're going beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, they were trash.
I don't think they were trash.
They were until they lost their coach and Goff had a change.
The offense was there. The defense was abysmal from start to finish. I think
They did put up 35 points. All right, I'll give you that. Okay, moving on. Minnesota was
Captain Kirk.
Captain fucking Crunch.
That's all we gotta say right there.
Take your shirt off and go somewhere. Okay.
Wait, can we get some case? Can we do that
Yeah.
in this bad boy?
We might have to. Might have to. So,
Yes.
Minnesota, though they had an amazing record, trash.
Yeah, they were
Absolute
great.
trash team.
That
There are
was-
another ones that were playing 3 and 4s. 3
Yeah.
and 4s their entire year. And the only reason why they did anything is because Green Bay had a down year.
And let's be honest, that offense for Minnesota stacked.
Yeah, but when you don't have a defense, offense doesn't win championships. Defense wins
We'll
championships.
get back to that later. Yeah.
We will. So then you got Washington. Washington is going through their quarterback carousel that they do every single year.
Commanders are bad.
Commanders
There's no
are
other way to
bad.
put it. The Commanders are bad.
It's an organizational thing. It's not the players.
Correct.
It's-
There's
it's-
talent on the
'cause
Commanders team.
Riverboat Ron, great coach. Loved him everywhere, every stop that he's ever been.
He's
I think he's a great
fantastic.
coach. Not his fault. Jacksonville was reeling at the beginning of the year.
Jacksonville started slow and came on late. Trevor Lawrence is an absolute talent, and I won't
Absolutely.
say anything bad about the Jaguars because I think they're a good team.
Sunshine is a good quarterback.
Hey, the man's got. Sometimes you got that flair, man. He's rocking them Goldilocks, swinging it like he don't care. And you know what? He shouldn't care because
Hey.
the man can ball.
Was he the one that went to Waffle House, or was that Burrow?
He did.
He
No,
did go
it wasn't
Waffle-
Burrow. That was my boy Lawrence going to Waffle House, getting
Waffle
him
House.
smothered and covered to celebrate the win.
bet
I
he
like
got,
that.
I bet he got him chunked too. Because
Well,
you got to
you
get
got
the
to.
pan.
You
gotta
got
get the pan.
to. Oh,
So-
he also got a pecan waffle. I don't know if you know this.
No.
Got to get the pecan waffle.
Bro, chocolate chip. You can't get anything.
Oh,
with
you
chocolate
gotta
chip
get the
waffles.
pecan
No.
waffle.
No. That's a whole nother argument. Hell no.
We're gonna do our favorite Waffle House menu at one point because, well, we're both fat and we love
Yeah,
Waffle
exactly.
House. So, but it has to be after 2:00 in the morning. Otherwise, Waffle
Bro,
House
you don't
is
go
not
to
the same.
you don't go to Waffle House unless you're drunk.
Hell no.
Because you go for the food and the show. 'Cause there's always a fucking show there. It's like new dinner theater restaurant right there.
It's
That's
more,
Waffle House,
it's like
baby.
it's like a combination of Bellator and like a IHOP, like
Yes.
a little bringing it to
Yes.
it's a shit show.
All right. So Jacksonville hadn't found its way.
Not in the groove yet.
Arizona. I think that's the week that
I don't think did Kyler play that game?
I was just about to say. I think that's the week that why can I not think of the damn video game?
Call of Duty
yeah.
came out. Call of Duty
I think-
dropped,
I
and
think that's
Kyler
when-
was busy.
Yes, I think that's the week that Call of Duty came out. So
God.
Arizona, trash team, and sucks that the hipster Cliff Kingsbury got fired. Finally, should have been fired a long time
That
ago.
was long
I don't know what they were
overdue.
holding on to, but Dallas, garbage.
That was wait. That was a Dallas also without Dak.
It
There was
was.
no Dak in that game.
It was.
That was the Cooper Rush
Yes.
game, and if you
Rush didn't
again,
play bad.
we don't count when backup quarterbacks go. Like,
I count it. For this argument, I will count it.
All right.
Because if you're a good team, you can still win with a backup quarterback. Hence, 49ers. Hence the 49ers.
It's a little different. That's a Shanahan scheme. We'll talk about that later.
Well, the system quarterbacks, but system quarterbacks are system quarterbacks. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
fair.
Pittsburgh. Kenny
Pittsburgh was
Pickett,
terrible.
Kenny Pickett finding his way. Trubisky's gone. Who was their other guy that was there that started off the year?
They went back and forth. I don't know. We'd have to.
Doesn't
look
matter.
at that.
Doesn't
It
matter.
It
Anyway,
doesn't matter. It's
they were
a
trash.
reeling team that was in rebuilding mode and not good.
And then we go to the Houston Texans.
Who were the technically worst team. However, at the end, they became second worst by getting a 2-point conversion. Stupid scenario.
Lovey Smith. fucked
They're
that
not
franchise.
good.
No, they're
The
trash.
Texans are terrible.
Yeah.
They were the only team starting more rookies
Yeah.
than the Chiefs.
Correct.
Big contrast there. One is the number 1 seed and in the big game. The other one was second worst team in the league.
Yep.
Big.
And by the way, speaking of the Bears, I know they haven't played them yet on paper or on here yet, but Matt Nagy was never the problem with the Bears.
No.
Matt Nagy was never the fucking problem.
No.
Sorry, whole nother argument. Matt Nagy back with the Chiefs, never the problem with the Bears.
Big Matt Nagy fans here. For sure.
Absolutely. So then we go to the Washington Commanders game,
Again.
which
They lost.
they did lose to them, but
I can't remember
that
which
was
one.
what's
it
his face.
Heineke?
That was Heineke's first game as a starter, and Heineke knows how to get them boys rolling. Heineke's a good quarterback. Is he an NFL quarterback? No, he's not. Would he make a great CFL quarterback?
Sure.
Potentially. Shout out to
Sure.
Michael Bishop, who did win a Grey Cup. Your boy, who played with the Patriots, never started for him. Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. You're in the league, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So then they go to the reeling Indianapolis Colts.
Who were the Jeff Saturdays? Are they the Jeff Saturdays at this point in the league? I think they are. Yes. No.
Yeah,
Yes,
right
they
around that
were.
time. Yeah, they were.
Because
Yeah,
fucking Sirianni went off on a tangent afterwards saying, this is for Frank Reich. Fuck Sirianni, by the way. I want to get on that real quick.
I'm out of
That
here.
dude, what is he doing? You have talent. You also have a roster that is the only one that rivals the 49ers for all pros on it. So maybe shut the fuck up and just give your team some credit and not talk trash.
I agree.
Anyway, so that's a big loss. That's a big, not technically a loss. Little insight to that one. They were losing the whole game. The Eagles trailed until the drive in the fourth quarter in which they scored a touchdown. But you know who didn't complete any passes on that drive?
Hurts didn't. Did he?
Hurts didn't
Yeah.
complete one pass on a drive.
So, if you want to qualify match per match, that game might be a good representation of Kansas City because Kansas City did lose to Indianapolis on a shit game.
But it's not the same.
No, I'm not saying it's the
They
same.
didn't
but
trail the
no,
whole game.
they did not trail the whole game. So then you go to Green Bay.
There's another thing we got to touch base on that Indy game for the Chiefs too. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. So then you go, they beat Indianapolis, they go to Green Bay, they give up 33 points to a reeling Packers team that struggling its ass off still.
But I want to point out here, we've had the Lions, Vikings, Commanders, Jaguars, Cardinals, Cowboys, Texans, Commanders again, Colts. They finally get to their second legitimate starting quarterback
Oh, yeah.
in week 12.
Yes, absolutely.
At this point, they've only played two
They've
good
played
quarterbacks.
Kirk Cousins, I will say hang on, don't look at me like that. Kirk Cousins is an average quarterback who can make the plays when he needs to make the play. Is he going to win the game in the last 2 minutes for you? Not typically. Can he make throws? Is he a game manager? Yes.
He can do that as long as it's a noon game on a Sunday. If it's prime time in any way whatsoever, shit's the bed.
Yeah.
So
but that's why I say he is an average game manager.
Good quarterbacks at this point. He's only played two good, and I'm not ever calling Kirk Cousins good. I will call Trevor Lawrence good, I will call Aaron Rodgers good.
I see what you're saying. Okay, my bad. All right. So then they beat Green Bay. They should have lost that game.
They really should have. And they gave up 33 points.
Had Green Bay not had 3 turnovers in the first half, that's a completely different game. Then you go to a Tennessee Titan team that I think by this time...
Playing Malik Willis at that point.
Yes.
I don't think they got... They might have faced Tannehill. That might have been where he got hurt, but
it's close.
I think either way, I'm not calling Ryan Tannehill a good quarterback.
He's another barely average
He's
quarterback.
a game manager that is not a good quarterback. Yeah. So again, two good quarterbacks to this point in the season. A lot of average and below average.
Well, then you go to their first game against the Jets, where they put up 48 points. The 22 points that the Giants put up was a lot of garbage time minutes. And once again, you have a super hyped quarterback that I believe this was his last year in his rookie contract with Daniel Jones. I think this is
Daniel Jones is ready
years.
for good old Danny Dimes.
Yep.
Also someone who I'm not going to call a good quarterback.
No,
and
not at
Giants
all.
fans can get mad if they want
Not
to.
at all. He's trash.
He's really not good. He has moments of brilliance, but he also does stupid things like fall down when running and no one is around him, and he's going to score, and the turf monster gets him.
Yeah.
Bro, you ain't good.
Yeah.
You're just not.
No. So, not a good quarterback team. Then they play Chicago, 25-20, with another team that their quarterback, Fields.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Fields was hurt.
Fields was already
Fields
hurt.
was playing. Fields has come back.
He got hurt every other week at the end of the season. I couldn't even tell because he never finished a game. I think Justin Fields has some skill, and Honestly, the problem with him, he reminds me a lot of Cam Newton, where they have the
Yes.
same game. He's got that monster
Yes.
arm, and he's a big presence, and he
Yes.
can run. But then he takes those hits, and then he's done.
And his accuracy is trash.
It's terrible. And I hate to see it because I like Fields. I think
So
he's
do
fun
I.
to watch. But again, not a
good quarterback. Then we finally have another quarterback who's back from injury, and Dallas beats him.
And I'm
Dallas
not-
handily beat them in that
Oh,
game.
they control it. But
They handily beat them in that
this
game.
isn't even, again, a good quarterback.
No.
Dak Prescott is what you would call average to better than average.
Yes.
He has moments of brilliance, but if you ask him to do too much, he folds.
He's a 250 hitter in baseball.
He is.
He's a 250. He's not gonna do anything to hurt you typically. Is he gonna win a game for you?
No.
Yeah, here and there.
Maybe.
Here and there. Here and there.
He's
gonna
going
win
to
a
hit
game
that
for you.
single every once in a while to get it, but he's never going to hit the home run.
He's gonna get that booty knock. Every once
That's
in a while.
it. He's going to get that can of corn single that somehow fell, but he's not the great guy. Again, so we're still, what week are we in at this point?
13?
We're at week 16 at this point. Week 16, they've played 2 good quarterbacks, 1 average quarterback.
Well, and by this point, Minshew's starting because Hurts is out for his shoulder issue, and I believe that happened in the Chicago game because they gave him an entire month off.
It did.
So
We got to give props to the Eagles there. They
Absolutely.
lost that game, but they did not have Jalen Hurts.
no, and they still put up 34 points with Minshew, with the mustache.
And gave up 40 points to a slightly above average quarterback.
Yeah.
But this, again, I'll repeat, this great vaunted defense that rivals the 85 Bears,
No, it
apparently.
No, it doesn't.
Because they're so close with 78 sacks. Okay, but when you're up every week
I will
and
say
you're
this.
running the ball and controlling the clock.
I will say this. If a shuffle doesn't come out if they win, I'm going to be pissed. If they're that good, and
You
I don't
should
see
have a shuffle.
and I don't see a shuffle, I'm going to be pissed.
You better
You're going to
take
hear
that.
me. You're going to hear me in a podcast a week after. This is fucking bullshit. There was no shuffle that came out.
You ruined it.
So, New Orleans Saints, they lost that game because Hurts wasn't there, and I think that was the week that what's his face passed away, and Minshew was not at that game. Mike Leach.
It doesn't.
I believe
Yeah,
that's when Mike Leach
I think
passed
the Pirate
away.
passed away that week. It doesn't matter. The Saints were awful.
Oh yeah,
They were a
Horrible.
terrible team.
Horrible.
They didn't have a quarterback. They had no offense, despite having an electric running back. They had no offense,
straight garbage.
and the defense was just. Well, we already gave a shout out. Shout out to Honey Badger, my boy Dirty Dan. Hey, that's why they won.
Dirty Dan.
Dirty Dan came through in that
Dirty Dan
game.
and the crew. I don't even think he played in that game.
Oh God. So again, yet again, no good quarterback.
No. And then we go back to the Giants, which they did win that game, and I think that was Hurts' first game back.
Hurts did play that game.
Yeah, he
But
played
he
the first
wasn't
half of that
the
game.
Same.
No, he wasn't. He didn't run. He didn't do the flashy things that he is gonna do against the Giants the next week in the playoffs.
Yes.
Because once again, this entire year, now that I'm looking at this, and I hadn't really looked at this until just now, or it's not dawning on me, 2 good quarterbacks. 2
That's it.
above average quarterbacks.
Yeah,
2 above
one good.
quarterbacks.
Actually, no, they're both good. I'm going to give
Oh, yeah,
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence being good.
That's what I'm saying,
And
above
Aaron Rod-
average.
Yeah,
Above average.
but other than that,
Who'd they play?
who did they
What
play?
quarterback did they play? They didn't.
None.
They didn't. And when
and
Dak
so-
Prescott comes back, who, like we've said, slightly above average,
Drops
He
40
roasted
on
them.
them. He dropped
Absolutely
40 on
roasted
them.
which means their defense is not as good as the 85 Bears. No fucking way. Is this the team, and I know we talked about this before in our very first podcast, is this the team that has multiple people that has 10 plus sacks?
Yeah, double digits. But do you know whether that's what we were trying to get you? That's what I wanted to get to. That's why we ran through this,
Oh, okay,
this
okay.
whole,
Yeah,
this
yeah, okay,
whole
sorry.
gamut
Yeah.
of these scores. There were no good quarterbacks they faced. They faced 2 good quarterbacks. And then, so if you're not playing good competition and you're ahead, what's going to happen? That defense is going to pin their ears back and they're going to go after the quarterback. So, what I haven't heard from national media this whole week is, are these numbers inflated? I think we might
I
want
think
to look
they
at
are.
that.
Now that you say that, I don't disagree with you on that, because I guess I didn't realize I don't pay attention to the teams in the Northeast. I really don't.
It's the NFC. It's period. It's hard. If it's not your division, like I know you pay attention to the North.
Yeah.
But why would you pay attention to the NFC East? Most of the time, those teams are garbage.
Right.
They have in the past few years. They have been bad. Hell, last year we called them the NFC least. Yeah. They were terrible. It's not fun to watch, and that's. It was improved. I'm not saying that was a terrible division by any means. I think it was a strong division, and you won your division.
But remember what we talked about before. That is a stronger division, and they were actually stronger than what the AFC West was, supposedly.
I think they were.
But when you're playing 3s and 4s and 2s and 3s, and you're never actually playing division winners,
it's different.
It's a horribly different thing. Because let's go to Kansas City real quick. Let's look at their schedule. Arizona, not a division winner.
No, but they blew them out.
They did blow them out. And Kyler Murray looked like a chump in that game, which when we all saw that was like, oh shit, Kansas City's defense might actually be looking solid this year.
Yeah.
We were a little wrong.
Well,
we were a little wrong at that point.
We were a little wrong at that point, but you can look a little bit at the quarterback style.
Yeah.
Hurts and Murray, size difference aside, Jalen Hurts isn't massive. He's bigger, but they both have running as a strong component of their game and can throw the ball, but it has to be run, sets up the pass.
Yes.
And what did the Chiefs do to that offense? They shut it down.
They did.
Which we just talked about a minute ago. How many rookies are they starting on defense? A lot. Well, and you shut them down. Not a good team. We're not going to say they're a good team. But that style of quarterback was there, and they shut it down.
Absolutely. So then you go to the Chargers, which they only won by 3 points. I don't care what a lot of people... I know Justin Herbert gets a lot of hype. I think he is an above-average quarterback.
He's got talent.
He has amazing talent.
Yeah.
If he could ever get the right people around him, which Mike Williams should be doing a lot better than he does. Who's the other captain?
Keenan Allen is amazing.
Keenan Allen is amazing, but that's it.
That's not it. Austin Eckler's amazing.
That's a running back, though.
It doesn't matter. That's another weapon he has. And then you have Everett at tight end, who's also a pass catcher, who is also very good. He's loaded with weapons. They've got a lot of weapons on offense. The problem is your coach is defensive-minded and can't scheme to take advantage of the offense that you have.
I'll agree with that. So then we go to we already talked about the Indianapolis Colts loss.
Who are terrible.
Right.
And the Chiefs lost this game, and I think we need to pause on the loss for the Chiefs. I personally didn't watch this game.
I did.
I was traveling.
I was ashamed to. I turned this game off when we were down. What were we down? 13 or 14 to 3 for a long period of time, and we just 3 and out.
But then they came back.
They did come back, and they did make a game out of it, but I don't know.
But why were we down? That's what I want you to focus on. Why were we down?
I don't even remember.
That's back when we had Sky Moore returning punts, and he muffed a punt.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Butker missed the kick. That's right. You are right.
And then he missed an extra point.
Because he was coming off of an injured ankle still in the Arizona.
Actually, it wasn't Butker. It was the backup kicker.
It was the 2 backup kickers. Yes, that's right. That is why we lost that game. I forgot about that.
Oh, but nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to talk about the fact that you lost it, but how did they lose?
A muffed punt and 2 missed field goals.
And also, the Chiefs had the lead at the end of that game. I don't remember. You probably don't remember how it finished.
It was a touchdown pass in the last minute and a half.
Yeah. Why did that get set up? There was a 4th down play, and Chris Jones said something mean to Matt Ryan, and they got that penalty, which set them up to score the game.
I forgot about that. You were right.
But now is a good time to bring that in. Do you know who refereed that game? Sheffers.
Oh, yeah, we're getting fucked.
Yeah, and who's going to do the Super Bowl? Who's going to be the big game?
Big game. Big game.
Big game's going to be Sheffers again!
Fuck Sheffers.
I'm not saying this. I'm not going to be a Bengals fan. I'm not going to cry about the officiating. But that was blatant. When you just have words that are said to a quarterback and a defensive lineman say that and you throw a flag, maybe you should back the fuck up and not decide the outcome of a game over words. He didn't hit him. There was no physical contact. They were words between adults. Maybe we don't throw a fucking flag on that.
I agree.
Anyway.
So, then we go to Tampa Bay and absolutely destroy them. But Tom Brady's an elite quarterback. That is the second good quarterback, if not elite quarterback, that we've played. We go to the Raiders, which I hope he lands somewhere good because I have been a subtle fan of Carr. I can't like Carr because he was playing for the Raiders, and I do hate the Raiders, both as a Chiefs fan, as a Green Bay fan. But I'm not gonna lie, if Rodgers leaves for whatever reason that he
He'll
may
take
leave,
Derek Carr.
I will absolutely take Derek Carr 100% of the time. And shout out to him. I don't know if you watched the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge. That motherfucker put up 40 points in the quarterback challenge.
I did not watch it yet. I haven't.
Nobody
recorded
else was
it.
even
I'm gonna
close
watch
to him. I think he put up 30 or 40 points by himself.
Let's not toot his horn too much.
I'm going to a little
We got
bit.
what, Tyler Huntley going against him, and who else? It was just a terrible Pro Bowl.
That was NFC. It was NFC people.
It was still
So you had
terrible.
Cousins. Trevor Lawrence was there too, though. Trevor
Okay,
Lawrence
so
didn't
we
even
got
score as many.
we got one other good. I'm not even going to say Carr's a good quarterback. I'll put him as better than average.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if you call him
I'll say he's a good quarterback. I'll eat that. I'll eat that as a good quarterback.
All right.
Then we go play Josh Allen, which that game was a rough game. We only lost by 4 points, and we know Allen's an elite quarterback.
Allen's very good. He
Allen's
is someone that I will call
he's
a
an
good
elite
quarterback. And that one, again, Chiefs driving at the end of the game. Pat misreads. There's an interception. That's the ball
Yep.
game. So that one right there, that also could have been.
And nobody says that Pat's perfect.
No.
I'm not, and
God,
Pat
no.
makes mistakes, but he has way more good plays than he has mistakes. Let's be honest.
Way more.
So go to the 49ers. They're struggling. We kicked the absolute shit out of them. Got our bye week, which we usually win coming out of the bye week. Titans, we've already talked about them, about how they have a trash quarterback. Then we play Jacksonville, who is starting to come around a little bit. We do play them really well,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't surprise me. Reed always plays good against his former proteges, and
He does.
Doug Peterson's there now. Play Herbert again. Then we go play
Hold on, let's pause real quick. Sorry,
Go
I don't want to cut you off. But so we've had the Chargers. Some would call a good quarterback with Herbert.
Mhm.
We had the Bucks. I
Mhm.
don't think anybody's not going to call Brady a good quarterback.
Yep.
You gave Vegas Carr another good quarterback.
Yep.
That's 3. We got Josh Allen.
An
That's
elite
number
quarterback.
4.
He's an elite quarterback.
That's number 4. So now we're back. Skip the Titans because they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
We got the Jaguars. That's number
That's
5.
Then we
That's
play
the
Herbert
5th.
again.
And then another good
That's-
quarterback we're playing.
That's 6 games.
Good
So then-
God.
Then we go play the Rams, which I don't think Stafford played in that game, if I remember right, but it wouldn't have mattered at
It
that
didn't
point in
matter.
time.
No.
But then we go and play Joe Burrow at Joe Burrow's house.
That's another one.
That's number 7.
Another one.
That's a 7th game. 6th quarterback, 7th game. Russell Wilson.
I'm
trash.
not. No, trash.
Houston, we should have never went in overtime with them, but whatever.
Again, that's Andy not putting
Correct.
down pressure on
Correct.
the opponents.
Then we go to Seattle, which I'm not going to say that he
I'm
is
not calling
a.
Gino a good quarterback.
I'm not calling him a good quarterback, but is he better than some of the quarterbacks that the Eagles faced? Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Then we play Denver again. Shouldn't have been as close as it was. And then we play Carr again. So
Well, we didn't play Carr in that game. That was Stidham. Stidham started
Oh,
for them.
yeah, you're right.
So we can't.
You're right.
But there were 7 games.
We did.
7 games
Yeah,
the
7
Chiefs
games.
played were what we would classify as a good
Yeah.
quarterback.
Good or above average quarterback.
7 games with good
Versus
quarterbacks versus
2.
2.
Yeah.
Versus 2.
Well, and then we go to the playoffs, and we get
Jacksonville again.
Jacksonville again, which we've already said he's a
Again,
good quarterback,
Good quarterback.
and we get a potential elite quarterback because Burrow has
He's
the potential.
getting close.
He's already good above average.
He's very good. I'll
He's-
say
he's-
he's good.
he's-
he might be great.
He might be an elite quarterback, very much so. We'll see when Chase and Higgins' rookie contracts are up and his weapons go away, like what Pats did this year. We'll see how he reacts to something like that.
That's what's keeping him, for me, from me calling
Absolutely.
him great because I
Absolutely.
haven't seen him do it without.
Absolutely.
And so again, quick, that's now 9. Is that 9
9
games?
games.
9 games where you win against a
9
good
out of
or
17
better.
games. 9 out of 17 games.
That's insane.
One and
Technically 19. We had postseason in there, so
oh yeah, you're right. My bad. 19.
but
But
still solid.
iron sharpens iron. If you're playing elite, good, above average quarterbacks, and you have a defense that is slowly finding their way. And I remember at one point in time, we both called for Spags potentially to be fired.
It was not looking good.
It was not.
It was
We were
really
still
not
winning
looking good.
games, but we're like, why is the defense giving up the numbers that they are? Why is the defense doing this? Why is the defense doing that? We all know, and this might be one of the problems with Kansas City fans. And I do this, I'll call myself a Kansas City fan, you know that. we expect to win.
We do. We have
And
taken that on.
when we're not winning, or I would say when we're winning but we're playing like shit, we shouldn't be winning. And that coach or whoever's leading that team, we need better. We need better. We've got the talent. Why is the coach not doing what they're supposed to do?
For sure.
And that's high expectations for that's with everything. I mean, I think the only team in Kansas City that we habitually root for just because we like them is the Royals.
Yes.
Everybody knows the Royals suck.
Hey,
They suck.
they're not great.
They suck.
They have opportunities for improvements. Is
They
what
are-
they have.
They are a AAA team for the rest of the goddamn league. And you will
I'm not gonna argue.
We just signed Zach Greinke again. Come on, man. He's 40 years old.
But
He's a man
They
finally,
finally
by the way.
moved off Mondesi.
Only because somebody was willing to fucking trade for him.
Hey, they finally did
Holy
it.
shit. Did you see that they're trying to fucking trade Perez now?
Well, they should. I love him. I love him to death. But if you can get value, you
I'll give you
are in trouble. You have holes everywhere. Anyway, this is big game talk.
Yeah,
we gotta get
we're-
away. We gotta get
sorry,
back to the
sorry.
big game.
Anyway.
So that brings us to our matchup then. Now we're back to the big game. We just went through the regular season and playoff schedules. We saw who the Eagles have played. We saw who the Chiefs have played. Give it to me. What are you thinking? How does this game play out?
All right. Do you want... Which person do you want on this? Because you want pessimistic me, or do you want what I want to happen?
No, tell me what you think is going to happen.
What I think is Kansas City loses the game 27-20
Wow, by a full score.
by a full touchdown.
Okay.
And the reason why I think that is Kansas City's going to come out slow, just like we have for years, since we either come out super hot or we come out and lay an egg for the first couple drives, and then we get our shit together. That's just the mantra.
Look at that. I don't want to. I mean, I am arguing with you because that's what we do here. We go back and forth. Jaguars. They come out slow in that game.
In the playoffs? No.
Yeah. No. Bengals. They come out slow in that game.
Yes.
They didn't.
Yes,
They
they
didn't
did.
convert. They drove the field twice and didn't get the. We had a
But
drop
that-
touchdown, which was a really good pass by.
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
was.
blaming Tony. It was a hard catch.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't make it.
No, no.
Whatever. Then we had the other one. We had a touchdown that was called back on a holding. Again, not blaming the officials. That should have been a 14-0 game right there.
But
that's
it's
not a slow start.
But it's not. That's the problem that I have with it. That's why I think it's going to be it's one of those games, like when we play Buffalo, that if you're not scoring touchdowns, you're not going to win the damn game. And I feel like
You thought that last week, though.
I did think that last
You
week.
didn't think that
I
the
did
Chiefs
think
were
that
going to beat
last
the Bengals. You
I did
thought they weren't going to have the edge.
This is why I said pessimistic me.
No, it's fine.
What I want to see happen is I want to see Kansas City win the game, probably 30-20 or 35-24.
31-20 sounds good. I feel like that goes back to.
It does. It goes back to 54. But like I think this offense, when it gets rolling, has the opportunity to put up 45 points.
Oh,
Easily put up 40. Will Andy Reid ever score 45 points? No. Highest he scored was 41, and that's because I think he was being an asshole to a point to Tampa Bay on purpose from 55.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that. Not a problem with that whatsoever.
Once you got history, the gloves come off.
Absolutely.
Andy. That's what
Absolutely.
it seems like.
But
Yeah.
I feel a little on paper, Kansas City has the better team.
I disagree.
We just looked at stats, though.
We looked at stats. We looked at. We
That's
didn't
what I'm saying
look
on
at
paper.
rosters.
But I'm looking on paper.
On paper,
for
if we look
stat
at
purposes.
roster,
I'm not talking about their
that to me is the
all-pro.
team.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
talking
all
about
right.
your roster.
All right.
And the Chiefs are better in two positions. They're better at quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're better at tight end. And I will take the starter. Actually, I like our offensive line, so I'd take the core there. I wouldn't take Jason Kelsey over.
I think him and Humphrey. I will completely agree that Jason Kelsey is probably one of the best centers.
He's
in the
a Hall
game.
of Fame,
top 5
for sure.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Craig's been in the game. This is his second year. Bro, he's here.
He's
He's here. He's all pro. He was second team all pro this year.
So so we're biased. I'm just gonna say we're biased.
Absolutely.
I think if you ask most people, they're gonna take Kelsey. Me personally, I like Humphrey because of the age, and I think the skill is there. But for
Agreed.
most people, they're only gonna give us two positions: the quarterback and the tight end. Everything else,
because our tackles are suspect.
our tackles are suspect. They
Two-
have better wide receivers.
I think we do have one better guard than they do. I think
Okay.
Tooney's the best guard in the NFL.
Okay.
Not being biased,
I'll give
but
you
I
that.
think Tooney's one of the best guards.
But I don't think outside of Kansas City you'll get anyone else to say
No,
that.
yeah, you're probably right.
I think if you ask an unbiased, if you ask a Vikings fan,
To be
ask a
honest-
Niners fan, they're all going to say that roster is better.
To be honest, I don't even know who, other than Jason Kelsey, who their offensive line is.
Oh, there's a lot of people on there. I had the roster pulled up, and
I honestly have no clue.
It's solid. Here, I got a roster right here. Maybe if it loads. But what I'm getting at is nationally, everyone thinks that that's a better roster, and I agree with them other than those two positions. Well, thankfully for the Chiefs, the most important spot on your roster is the quarterback. And they've got
True.
the advantage there. The
That's
other
true.
thing that's important in today's NFL is your head coach. You taking Sirianni over Andy Reid?
No.
I'm not either.
No.
So now they've got the best person at two most important spots in the game. And if I'm betting, which I will because we're in Kansas and we can, I'm always going to put money on who has the best quarterback and coach. If that's the best combo is on this side, I'm taking that side every time. Every time.
It's the pessimist in me that doesn't. I think I want Kansas City to win. I absolutely want Kansas City to win. I don't. I've seen it too many times with Kansas City, and like in big games, I feel like they shit the bed over the
They
past
used
couple
to.
of years.
They used to.
Over the past couple of years, I feel like they've shit the bed. I'm not talking about we're not going back to the Lynn Elliott days and all that kind of stuff where they kept losing in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about.
So you say they shit the bed, and I'll pose it to you this way. You mentioned earlier the past 5 years. All 5 years as a starter, Patrick Mahomes has gone to the AFC Championship
Yep.
game. 3 of those 5, he's gone to the Super Bowl. What happened in the other 2?
He got beat by Super Bowl champs, didn't he?
He lost in overtime
Well, yeah.
to both teams.
but yeah,
That's
yeah,
not shitting
yeah.
the bed. If you're losing in overtime when your defense didn't even get to touch or your offense never touched the ball in the first
game.
one,
In the first game. But the second game, they did.
but that's not shitting the bed. You're a drop touchdown
don't-
pass in one away from it. You're offside penalty in the other one. You're this close. You're this close to 5 straight Super Bowls. You're an offside and a drop pass away. That's not shitting the bed. I can't go along with that. D Ford, offsides. We had an interception in the first AFC Championship game. There's an interception, but D Ford is called
That's the
offsides.
overtime, yeah,
They
yeah.
get it,
Who's
and
the
that's how
second
they
one?
lost. They lost last year against the Bengals in overtime in the AFC
Oh,
Championship.
yeah,
They
that's
had
right.
a touchdown.
That's right.
It was
Yeah.
dropped. They had to punt.
That's
Did
right.
the Bengals go
I
down?
forgot about that.
That is almost controlling your destiny and dominating for 5 straight years, and yet you lost twice in overtime. I can't say you shit the bed if you lost in overtime.
I'm gonna say they shit the bed.
There's no way, man.
I'm saying in the big game. Look at their regular season big games.
I don't count regular season. I just don't.
I mean,
It doesn't matter.
I
until
mean,
you
the
get to
last 2
playoffs.
years, I will say the last 2 years that they have gotten their revenge back. Once on Allen, because didn't we lose in the regular season to Allen last year and then beat them in the divisional?
Yeah.
And then this year was the same thing with Cincinnati where we got that revenge.
Would you rather be 2-0 in the playoffs against a team?
Oh,
Or
absolutely.
would you rather be 2-0 in the regular
Absolutely.
season?
Absolutely.
So then I don't call that shit in the
I'm
bed,
still
man.
gonna say they shit
When
the
it
bed,
counts, you showed up. That's
Still
what I'm
gonna say
saying.
They shit the bed.
Sorry, I cut you off, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
like you were
that's
in
the
the
whole
middle.
point of
I'm
this.
just like, babe, we can't say they should. We
They
can't say
did.
they shit the
I think
bed,
they shit the
man.
bed. But this is that high. This is those high expectation things.
It is.
That's what it really is. It's the high expectations. I mean, this is a whole different sport, but every year, and I know you hate KU, but every year, as a KU basketball fan, which KU basketball fans are toxic as fuck, don't get me wrong, willing to admit that wholeheartedly, don't have a problem with it. I expect that team to win 27, 28 games a year and to make it at least to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, if not Final Four. I don't expect to win the national championship. That's fucking...
You can't. That's
retarded.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's stupid
that's-
Alabama fans.
yeah.
We should win every year. Get outta
Exactly.
here.
Yeah, I'm not that
Get
bad.
out of here.
But I expect that out of them with Kansas City. Like I have the same sentiments, but I'm a very pessimistic person. I think they lose the game, but I don't want them to lose. I really want them to win. Why? Because I want to have fucking champagne showers again like we did for big game 54.
Yes, sir.
That's what I want.
Yes,
I want to be able to go
sir.
out in your front yard this year.
We'll go on the deck.
Their deck, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we go. I want to spray fucking champagne again this year.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think we should. I will go out on a limb. I already told people I'm betting one way.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you why.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why I'm betting that way. I have the utmost faith in Patrick Mahomes because he's never told me to doubt him.
All right, yeah. Absolutely.
Is he
I'll agree with
perfect?
that.
No. But the man's going to give you everything he had.
He's going to give you 150%.
We talked about the one loss he has in the big game. He had his signature play. The man was horizontal, threw the ball, hit the receiver in the face mask.
There were 3 touchdown passes dropped in that
Face
game.
mask
I know.
as he was
I
horizontal,
know.
and it was dropped. My man's
had-
going to show up. He
had
always
3 touchdown
does.
passes dropped in that
He
game.
always
I know.
does.
I know.
And so when I've got that guy playing and Big Red calling the plays, and now, for the first time ever, we've seen Chris Jones absolutely dominate the line of scrimmage. Yes, the Eagles are a very good game. Are they going to win? I don't think so.
Hey, but, and I will throw this in there. When the Chiefs were not getting sacks in the regular season, what were they doing off their front four?
They were getting a lot of pressure.
Batting balls.
They were batting
Batting
balls.
ball.
They
The
were-
number one front four of batting balls in the NFL. Sometimes you don't need to get sacks to win games.
Mm-mm.
All you got to do is disrupt plays. As a cornerback, you don't get picks 100% of the time. What are you getting more than anything? Batted balls. Batted balls. Batted balls.
So I will put it that way. I will say, yes, the Eagles have a better roster, but not where the most important positions are. And if you're a gambler, don't take my word for it. Just look up the last several big games. Who wins?
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put my $11 or $14.25 that I have in MGM, shout out to you, sponsor us. I'm going to put that on the Chiefs. I'm going to. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to bet on the Chiefs because I am a fan. I'm a hometown fan. I'm not going to say that I'm not. But as a pessimistic person that I am, I don't think they win that game.
Fair enough. Fair
But-
enough.
We'll leave it at that. We will come back probably because we won't have a. We
will not record next week. We will be taking a 1 week hiatus. There's going to be a lot going on here. This is, I know if you're not in Kansas City, you probably don't care, but this is another holiday for us. The city's going to shut down. All eyes will be on the TV.
Especially if we win.
Oh, God, if we win,
That
it's going to be
parade's
party
gonna
throughout the
fucking
night.
Nuts again.
Shout out to my boss. I've already got PTO on Monday. I will not be there because I'm at a party. That's what's up. That's what's up. Oh, man, I'm excited. So I'm excited. We got one hater over here saying the Eagles are going to win.
I'm not a hater, asshole. I said I want them to win. I just don't see it happening. I told you I'm betting on them.
It's all right. We got another week to hash it out, talk about it. We were almost there. We got our thoughts out today, and we both know where we're at. We both know what we want to happen. We both have different things that we think are going to happen, and now that's all left to do is watch it unfold.
Eat some pizza, eat some subs, maybe some wings, little smokies, little cheese dip.
Guacamole sauce. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Tortilla chips and guacamole sauce. It's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
All right, well, for Fatties Over 40, we'll check you guys later.
Have a good one. Peace.